Fortnite almost never did a collaboration. So this video might actually blow your mind, guys, and I'm being completely honest, Fortnite wasn't even supposed to have collabs. Like, that wasn't never the plan for Fortnite. And if it weren't for a random 5-hour phone call between some directors over from Marvel and Donald Mustard, Fortnite might have stayed completely standalone. Like, exactly as we saw it in Season 4, Season 3 of Chapter 1 is how it would have stayed, just advancing the seasons, but with no actual collabs. That means no Thanos, no Marvel, no Star Wars, no Travis Scott or any of the concerts that we've seen before, just standalone Fortnite. That's pretty wild to think about. I want to go back to how this all started, how Fortnite's first collab almost never happened, and how one phone call literally shaped the entire future of Fortnite in a single day. All the way back in 2018, you guys, the Russo brothers, which is Anthony and Joseph Russo, they're the directors of a lot of iconic Marvel movies such as Infinity War and Endgame. Some of the best Marvel movies have been directed by the Russo brothers. They called Donald Mustard and Fortnite with this crazy idea: put Thanos into Fortnite as a gameplay feature. Now, at the time, Donald Mustard, who is now the ex-creative director over at Epic Games, who was responsible for all of the story stuff dating all the way back to Chapter 3 of Season 3, I believe, he straight up said no. He didn't want Fortnite to be a place where like outside characters came in or different IPs were in Fortnite. Like, he just wanted Fortnite to stay Fortnite. He wanted to have a very distinctive brand, which it obviously did at this point. It was already one of the most successful video games of all time. But what was supposed to be a 30-minute call between the Russo brothers and Donald Mustard turned into 5.5 hours. Just them trying to convince Donald why this would work and how they could both benefit from collaborations in Fortnite, specifically with Marvel characters being involved in their world. And with that being said, they weren't just pitching a basic skin either. Like, we actually didn't see a Thanos skin in Fortnite for a really long time after that Season 4 event, the first collab in Fortnite. They actually pitched a full gameplay concept. Like, imagine logging into Fortnite and being able to be Thanos in the game. That was completely unheard of back then, and not just in Fortnite, but in video games in general. Inside of games, you really didn't often see like hints towards movies or TV shows or other games and things like that. And now Fortnite is kind of the brand that made that popular and made that mainstream. But by the end of that call that was 5.5 hours long, Donald actually changed his mind. He just said, all right, I think we're going to do that. And at that moment, that one call, that is what opened the floodgates, metaphorically, of all of these collabs being in Fortnite and how we view Fortnite to this day. Now, here's what gets even crazier, because Fortnite originally had a completely different plan. Back in 2017, Donald Mustard and Fortnite drew up a full vision for Fortnite as this massive platform. As you guys can see here, there's all types of different like video game genres surrounded by this hub, which is where you would immediately load into, surrounded by your locker, the shop, the gameplay, stuff like that. You could play PvP, PvE, survival, music, creative, live events, all types of stuff like that. And this was the original idea for Fortnite. As you can see, it was made in December 13th, 2017, very, very early on in Fortnite Battle Royale's lifespan, but they already had an idea to turn Fortnite into a platform. But as you guys can see there, collabs were never part of the original idea. There's no circle that says crossovers, collabs, different IPs. That just wasn't in the DNA of what they were building at Fortnite. So when people like to say that Fortnite sold out or become this ad space for movies and brands, I think it's important to remember that even though they didn't have collaborations in the cards for the original idea of this platform, this wasn't random. This wasn't just thrown together. They always had a vision to make Fortnite big, to make it evolve, and to make it more than just Battle Royale. Collabs just ended up being the tool that made that vision explode faster than anyone could have ever imagined. Now, let's be real here, you guys, and I've talked about this in many videos covering collabs in the past. Fortnite's cosmetics and the item shop have kind of like carried the game at times when the actual gameplay wasn't very popular. Even during the weaker seasons, the one thing that still makes people log in is that one collab, that skin drop, or that crossover announcement. The reason Fortnite, I think, in my opinion, stays in the news constantly, even when the game is mid, the reason so many people are always making content on the game, some of it has to do with the collabs. Like, people will post more about a collab sometimes than an entire battle pass. I mean, like, one of the really, really exciting points about this new Fortnite season was that Cleveland Brown and Hank Hill and Bob from Bob's Burgers were coming into the game. Like, that was a crazy announcement, and stuff like that is what really keeps people really interested in Fortnite and continuing to play, is these cosmetics and the collabs. And now we've moved from collabs just being skins to actual gameplay integration, something that I've wanted for a long time, like building whole events, POIs, or even like, UEFN maps around them. And if the Russo brothers didn't fight for that Thanos mode that day or that Thanos integration, Fortnite's item shop and the content meta, to be honest, would look completely different. There's no doubt in my mind that Fortnite probably wouldn't be nearly as popular today if they never put Thanos into the game. That may be a hot take, but that's just how I feel about it. Now, what if that call never happened? So let's imagine the Russo brothers just didn't make that call. What exactly does Fortnite look like right now if collabs were never in the cards and they were never added to the game? Are we still buying just, Fortnite original skins, random skins from the Fortnite universe? Would we even have like UEFN projects based around franchises like Star Wars or, Squid Game coming soon? Would Fortnite have become this big? Because like it or not, a massive part of Fortnite's popularity today is tied to brand recognition and these collaborations that they do with different brands and IPs. It's actually kind of crazy to think that the entire direction of Fortnite changed because two Marvel movie directors just wouldn't get off the phone. Like, it was something that was just supposed to be a quick pitch, just an idea, and they ended up just staying on there and completely changing Fortnite's mind. Like, they pitched literally the idea of Fortnite as we see it today. In a weird way, you guys, I think it's not crazy to say that the Russo brothers are responsible for like 90% of what Fortnite is today. Whether you love that or hate it, you can't deny that that's insane. They're responsible for obviously all of the Marvel integration that we have now. In addition, just the stuff that we see with Disney, Star Wars, the Pixar stuff that we have in here, and all of the integration that's going into Fortnite, like prioritizing collabs and things like that, is really crazy that it all started with one call in 2018. Now, where Fortnite is headed right now as a result of the Russo brothers' call, it's going even further. These IPs aren't just cosmetics, they're becoming part of UEFN and the game as a whole. We've got official Star Wars systems coming into creative. Squid Game just got announced. Like, this is beyond crossovers. It's like game development with brands. That original call started with Thanos, and now we're building full Fortnite games with collab mechanics baked into them, and I think that is so awesome. It's something that not any other game is doing right now. Whether you think that is a good or bad thing, like I said, that's still up in the air. It's up to you guys, because we really haven't seen the full power of UEFN yet, especially with the power of collabs and what the people will be able to make with mechanics that are actually sponsored by the collaboration people themselves. But one thing's for sure, this was always the direction. Fortnite always planned to be a metaverse. They always planned to be this platform that goes further than Battle Royale. Epic Games didn't just stumble into this. I think a lot of people feel like that. They just all of a sudden decided, oh, we're going to go this direction now, when I don't think that's really what they plan to do. They just needed a little push from the biggest movie franchise in the world, and now of course Marvel is all over Fortnite, but that's a conversation for another day. So yeah guys, Fortnite almost never did a collab, and now it's probably the most collab heavy game in history, all because two guys were like, hey, what if Thanos could emote? What if Thanos could do the best mates or the take the L? And 5 hours later, boom, history was made. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys think Fortnite would be better or worse without collabs? What do you guys think about this story in general? Let me know. Drop a like on today's video. You watched all the way to the end. You must have enjoyed, so drop a like. Subscribe to the channel. I make videos like these every single day. Use code PROZEROYT, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.